Hey guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. Okay, so we are here again to witness one of the important missions for the SpaceX, and that is the Transporter-2 mission. So we are here, and this is a rideshare mission. So this will be very epic. As well as Falcon 9 is returning to the launch site, as well as the booster is like the booster will be flying for the 8th time. So there are many things to talk about. I'll talk about them obviously today. So I think we should be good on that. Also, how are you guys? How are you? Hi Louis Smith, hi Samuel Kirk, and Wrong ZY, and hi Windenser. Okay, so we are around 36 minutes until the launch. Shout out to Spaceflight Now for providing this coverage. These are the live views of the rocket. Although you can see that right now the weather is not looking good. You can see that, right? There are concern for the lightning here, so we are on not a very good start, but again, SpaceX hasn't announced anything yet whether they have changed the launch time or what. So things are looking good on that front. So let's hope we have a good mission today. So yes, today looks cloudy. Yes, it is indeed, because there is one in the thunderstorm, sorry, the lightning warning. Don't know about the thunderstorm yet, but okay. Talking about this mission, let's just talk about this mission for today right now. And this mission basically is a very different and unique mission that SpaceX does for its customers. This is not a dedicated mission or any as such one satellite going to the space. This is a ride share mission. This is like a bus going to the space, right? All those previous missions you have seen, that was like one military satellite going, maybe two or like that. So it was like a personal vehicle going to the space. But right now today you will be going like you will be seeing a bus going to space carrying around 88 satellites to the orbit. So yes, that is the case first of all. So let's just have a look at their rideshare program. This is what they call as a SmallSat Rideshare Program. And how are they able to achieve this? Well, the answer is simple. The payload capacity for the rideshare, means the small satellites, basically the CubeSats, majority of them are CubeSats, is very low indeed, like 1 kg to 2 kg one satellite weighs. And you know that the payload capacity for Falcon 9 itself is like 16 tons, so it can very well do some many satellites all together. And that's why it also has a world record of getting the most number of satellites to space. That was like the previous mission, 143 sats to space. Right now they're going in for 88, but that does not mean that they're not doing something different. Indeed, for this mission, the payload mass for the means the total payload is greater than what we had for Transporter-1 mission. So that is one thing to see here. And yeah, talking about 88 satellite, 88 is also not like a small number, right? Imagine right now, just there are 88 satellites in your room right now, wherever you are right now. Just imagine that there are 88 satellites around you. It's not that less number of satellites, right? So that's why they need one separation system, deployment system, as well as transportation system, because the Falcon 9 second stage is capable, we know that, but right, it's not very much capable for transporting every satellite to its dedicated orbit. And hence we have some things called space tugs which are going to fly on this mission. So we will get to know about that too. So there are certain kinds of space tugs which will fly on here. And yeah, as the name suggests, space tugs have this responsibility to carry the satellites to a certain orbit, maybe do an orbit change maneuver, do some inclination change, or whatever it wants to do, or maybe not do anything, just deploy them perfectly. That's it. So yes, so this is just the overview which I gave. Now let's just have a look at their rideshare program, but before that, let me just check whether they have any updated news about the um, 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 the weather. Right now, SpaceX doesn't look like they are changing their liftoff time. No as such news on that. Right, yeah, there is no as such news on that, so we are good on that front. We are into prop load right now. The weather is kind of clearing, so let's hope it clears for the launch. Now moving on to the rideshare program, here you can see that this is their rideshare program. You can literally go to their website and you can book your ride, your satellite ride to space, required orbit, SSO no earlier than the payload mass, and if you put like one okay, 1 kg, it gives you around $1 million, right, of estimated price, which is way less if you compare it with what the actual the rocket providers have to pay, because they're ride sharing. Like 88 people are sharing the contract for going to space. So yes, although you can go up to 100 kg, the payload, the estimated price is still $1 million. So you should be having plan your mission accordingly. If I move on to, okay, so 200 kg is also that, then 500 is 2.5. Cool. So you can select your mission according to that. I won't go into those details here, but let me just see what we had here today. Okay, cool. Rideshare cost as low as $1 million. Schedule certainty, we have this. Yeah, you can actually contact no earlier than what you can schedule them. Reserve your ride online, which you can see that here only you can reserve your ride, as well as this is the payload configurations which they have. This is like a dispenser system which SpaceX have created, and you can actually see that thing here. Okay, this is not working as intended. Now looking good. Yep, cool. So yes, that's what I was saying. So this is the dispenser system which they have made, in which you can have the orbital tugs, the deployer system, as well as any other satellites that you want. So that is the thing. Obviously Falcon 9 rocket, we know all that, everything about the Falcon 9 rocket. Although one thing to note, that for this mission it is returned to the launch site, as well as the booster which is flying is the has already flown for 7 times, and now it will be its 8th time. Also the fairings used are also recovered ones. The one flew in Transporter-1 mission, other way has flown in nope, no data on that right now, but yeah, both of them are what we know call as that. So cool. So now let's have a look at the space tugs which we talked about. So one of them is the company from Spaceflight, and they have this Sherpa FX, as well as Sherpa LTC and Sherpa LTE. So Sherpa FX already flew when we, just a sec, looking good here. Yeah, the Sherpa FX already flew in on Transporter-1 mission. These are the Sherpa FX does not have as the name suggests, go now, that does not have any propulsion system. Then the Sherpa LTC has the one propulsion system named as Go Fast. That is a chemical propulsion system. That's why Go Fast. And then Go Far. Then the most advanced, which they have, the Sherpa LTE, has a propulsion system, and that is the ion thruster. So they can go far, as they suggest. So for this mission, the Sherpa FX Go Now is all flying, as well as this one Go Far is flying. So one of them will be having propulsion system and other one is not having. So you might be wondering now, what is the use of this kind of a system, right, which does not even have a propulsion system, right? See, the simple thing is that this can first of all, this allows you to deploy the satellites one by one freely as you want. Second of all, there is something called communication problems which arises when you cluster many satellites together, which have different communication frequency. You can't communicate with them because the other frequency is interfering with them. So this type of system, these things solve that issue, because what this ensures, like, first of all, the cluster, when this Sherpa FX is flying, this is connected with just one frequency, and then when it has separated the system, then obviously other satellites can have their own thing. So yeah, that is the here. Also, these type of systems, these which does not have the payload, they have the orbit life, which is 4 to 7 years, which means you can literally place some experiments on it if you want. You don't want to design any CubeSat, well, you can very well design the experiment and place it on this tug, and it will take care of the communication and the power requirements. That is cool. So yes. And talking about this Go Far, obviously, as the name suggests, it has the ion thruster, so it can go far as well as change the orbit. You know what I mean to say. Okay, moving on to the next one. There is one next. Okay, this is the Sherpa LTE configuration with the ion thrusters. A bit more, detailed one. Here you can say that there are the deployers which they have. The solar panels, obviously, it needs that to enable the electrical propulsion, as well as the thruster here. So the space tug industry also exists, and it is flourishing right now, because making a small rocket is a big task, and using the existing rockets, the big rockets which we have, and having one some tug kind of a thing which can deploy our satellite, that is a good thing. So that's why this is what we call in space propulsion, and this industry is flourishing, and it is a market which many companies have not yet touched. So yeah, that is the thing. Moving on to the next space tug, this is the EXO launch which will be going, and this is another space tug which will be deploying the satellites. You can see that it has this bigger version, the smaller version, and whatever you want. Basically, you can see that this is the exopod. Basically, will deploy one CubeSat. It's a CubeSat deployer, and then these Carbonix, Exobox, and Exopod are the cluster of exopods basically. So whatever the mission requirement, we don't exactly know which one is it, but Falcon 9 does have, as they say that here, the Falcon 9 ESPA port. Falcon 9 does support this exoport, so this exoport must be flying today also. Exoport with exopods containing CubeSats. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, moving on. The next space tug. The next space tug is from D Orbit, and they have this iron satellite carrier. So this does have the propulsion system in place. It can support 64 satellites. Although for today's mission, it is carrying around 11 satellites. So you can configure the amount of satellites you want to have. See here, you can configure that, as well as this is the contract. I mean, you can just go on to their website and look into that. But right, just to give you a perspective, there are three space tugs going on. The one from Sherpa, one from deorbit, one from exolaunch, basically two from Sherpa, so there are four of them going. Okay, now let's have a look at the actual satellites going to the space. Cool. So this is the Lemur satellites, which actually flew on the Transporter-1 mission also. And this Lemur constellation is an Earth observation and traffic monitoring constellation built and operated by Spire. The satellites are able to use GPS signal occultation to measure pressure, humidity, and temperature, which is very cool. I mean, obviously, this is a private space, private aerospace industry company, and Nanorex is the deployer which will be having that, and will launch 3 of the Lemur satellites. These are the Earth observation and the traffic monitoring, as they said. Moving on to the next one, which we have, and the next one is the Space Bees. The space bees are literally bees in space, which you can see. They are so small. They consider themselves too in the category of micro satellites, and they can exist in orbit for so long. Although you can see that they don't have the propulsion system, but since they have such a less mass, such a high means a high mass concentrated in a small area, that's why the drag coefficient is very low, so that's why it can stay in orbit for like 5 to 7 years. And the constellation has the goal of demonstrating two-way communication between cheap and low data satellites. Okay, I think we are having something here. Okay, cool. Is it possible you can put up your face? Ringing makes all sounds hard to understand. Hmm. See, the thing is, right now I am not in a perfect studio as such, and right now not in a situation to make a studio. I will come and show my face also one day, but when I have my studio ready, at least something ready to have, then I'll surely come. But before that, you need to have go with this only. So the space bees providing the two-way communication between cheap and low data satellites. So basically they are those relay satellites in space. Okay, and the next one which we have is this. Which one do we have? These Astrocast IoT satellites, which we can see from here. This does look like those of the Lemur one, but it is different. This is used to monitor the IoT networks which the companies have. They will be launching around 5 IoT satellites here, and this will track IoT products in remote regions of the globe. And if you don't know what IoT stands for, IoT basically is Internet of Things, which means that things which are connected to the internet, as like your TV, like your refrigerator, even ACs kind of connect to the internet right now, today, right? And whatever, like Google Home, you have Alexa. Whoa, all those things, the things which are connected to the internet, the smart home which concept which we have, in which everything, almost everything is connected to the internet. So that is IoT. And companies does have some products spread all around the globe, so they need those satellites also to monitor them. And this is one of them which is going to the space, Astrocast. Okay, moving on to the next one, and this is the Arthur 1 satellite. This is a risk reduction satellite meant to demonstrate aerospace ability to maneuver a high resolution optical payload in orbit. The Earthenward satellite will also provide flight heritage to the company and serve as a stepping stone for future payloads. So basically, this one will be serve as a technological demonstration mission right for today. And once they have the heritage and the hardware and the data to verify everything, then they will make more precise and more proper Earth observation satellite, most probably. So yeah, that is the thing. And there are some more satellites going to the space, cluster 3, Tiger 5G IoT. There are many satellites, like 88 going on to the space, but I haven't gone through all of them. It was not possible, first of all. Obviously I have chosen the major ones which we have. So yeah, so now we can talk about the most interesting part, which is the mission profile, right? So let's just talk about the mission profile for today. And this is very cool because you can see here we will be having one flip maneuver which we already see, but a boost back burn. A boost back burn will enable it to return to the launch site. Boost back burn will basically cancel all of its horizontal velocity which it has got with the launch. It will cancel all of its horizontal velocity as well as add some other horizontal velocity in a reverse direction so that it can land here only onto the launch site. So this is a very, this type of mission profile is very unique. And yes, you can see that. So then the boost back burn will happen, but boost back burn does not ensure that it is safe and steady for the entry. So entry burn will happen again, but for a shorter duration of time, and then finally return to the launch site with all the cameras aiming to the booster, and we should be having a good footage of it landing onto the land. So people living near the Cape and in the Florida can have a look at it. Maybe you can get something out of it. So yeah. And talking about the length of the mission, so we do have it's a lengthy mission. So you can see there are so many satellites which will be deploying as of. So 1 hour 27 minutes will be the total deployment time. And you can see that Starlink satellites, there are 3 Starlink satellites also going to the space, and the deployment actually starts from 57. So like 30 minutes it will take almost to deploy all of the satellites into space. So it will be interesting mission to see. And let me just see if we have some footage out there or the live stream. Now we are still waiting for one. Cool. Okay, the sec. What is this? Dude. Yeah. So we are okay. No. I don't know. Sometimes this PC, this my potato PC, tries to do some weird things which you just saw. So yeah. Okay, if you have any other questions, you can surely ask me right now. But I took severe hearing damage yesterday. I missed that wildflower. What happened basically? Okay, I hope you are all right now, and you should be good. It's like temporary hearing loss does happen. Whatever the damage was, I hope you are fine now, and you should be going better as the time passes. Hmm. Here, ever watched a satellite be put together piece by piece or built one themselves? And a friend that is says yes, I do have seen one time lapse where the satellite, if you have followed the rock on launch, I actually just saw made you saw the video of actual payload integration into the payload bay of that sounding rocket. So it is not like building the satellite, but actually the integration work of these experiments there. That was an awesome thing to watch. So yeah. What's the weather? Weather is not looking good right now, I must say that. But okay, let me just see. Right now SpaceX is continuing with the launch. No as such delay on that part. So let me just see that. T minus 20 minutes. Yes, we are going in for the launch right now. Although the window is like 54 minutes long, so whatever it be, we should be able to see the launch today. The weather is looking good, and yes, we are going in for the launch. After so long, we are actually seeing some SpaceX mission going in, right? When SpaceX does not, launch in just a week after week, it feels like it has been so long. And we know the companies, the space companies, and the organization which does that all the time. Like a year, we just see one launch or something like that. So yeah. Let me see if we have anything on here. Yes, we do have the. Okay, let me just switch over to that.
Eastern Time launch from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. My name is Andy Tran, and I'm a production supervisor here at SpaceX. Welcome to the webcast for SpaceX's Transporter. I'm a production supervisor here at SpaceX. Welcome to the webcast for SpaceX's Transporter-2 mission. It's our second dedicated SmallSat Rideshare Program launch and our 20th launch of 2021. SpaceX created this program to provide small satellite operators with more flight opportunities and flexible flight times at a competitive price. There are 85 spacecraft on board in addition to 3 Starlink
Just a sec, guys.
This includes CubeSats, microsats, and orbital transfer vehicles, sometimes called space tugs, which would deploy their spacecraft after separating from Falcon 9. On screen is Falcon 9 at Space Launch Complex 40. The two-stage rocket stands 70 meters tall, and that is greater than the wingspan of a 747 aircraft. We prep Falcon 9 for launch in our hangar at the base of the pad, and then upon completing final checkouts, Falcon 9 rolls out to the pad and goes vertical. Today's mission is the 8th flight for this particular booster. It debuted about a year ago on the GPS-3 Space Vehicle number 3 mission, and it also supported the Turksat 5A mission as well as 5 Starlink missions. You can tell by the re-entry soot on the bottom of the vehicle that this booster has flown before. The bottom 2/3 of the vehicle is the first stage. Its objective is to accelerate the vehicle through the Earth's atmosphere to space and then separate from the rest of the rocket. From there, it will make its way back to Earth and target a landing back on land this afternoon on Landing Zone 1, which is the pad that you see on screen right now. And if you are an Eastern Florida resident, you might even be able to see Falcon 9 over the ocean and hear one or more sonic booms as Falcon 9 makes its way back to the landing zone. On top of the first stage is the black carbon fiber interstage. It connects the two stages and houses the pneumatic pushers that allow the first and second stage to separate during flight. Then on top of the interstage is the Falcon 9 second stage, which takes the payload to its eventual destination in orbit. After the first stage separates about 2.5 minutes into flight, the second stage will then carry the 88 spacecraft to orbit. In order to get to the intended orbit today, we'll need to light our second stage twice before deploying all of our payloads. And similar to the first transporter mission, we'll be flying a fuel dome payload tray, which is essentially a small platform mounted on the back end of the second stage fuel dome that will release a handful of spacecraft today. This is worth mentioning as we expect this tray to obstruct one of 2 MVAC views during flight. And at the very top of the rocket, the satellites are safely enclosed inside of the 17-foot diameter payload's fairing. That is what we're seeing on screen right now. This protects the payload from aerothermal loads, heating, and contamination during ascent. Once we reach the vacuum of space, we will jettison the fairing as the second stage continues its journey to orbit. For today's mission, our fairing is making its 3rd flight, and we will be attempting to recover the fairing halves from the water following landing on our chartered recovery vessel, HOS Briarwood. And lastly, the large truss structure next to Falcon 9 is called the Transporter Erector, also known as the TE. Its job is to roll Falcon 9 out to the launch pad, raise it to a vertical launch position, and also route power, fluids, and communication to the rocket and satellite. At around T minus 4.5 minutes, it will begin to retract away from the rocket, providing clearance for Falcon 9 to lift off. The chief engineer held a technical poll at the T minus 1 hour mark, and the launch director held a propellant load and launch go no go poll at T minus 38 minutes. Since the T minus 35-minute mark, Falcon 9 has been loading propellants, and the vehicle is a bipropellant vehicle, which means that it uses two types of propellants. For fuel, a refined form of kerosene called RP1, and for its oxidizer, super chilled liquid oxygen, also known as LOX. Currently, RP1 is fully loaded on the second stage and nearly fully loaded on the first stage. Liquid oxygen loading is currently underway for both of our stages. Helium load began before the webcast went live as well, and will continue to top off until about a minute and a half before launch. We use helium to pressurize the tanks as the propellant is pulled out by the engine pumps during ascent. In about 30 seconds, at around the T-minus 7-minute mark, engine chill will begin. This is where we allow a small amount of super chilled liquid oxygen to flow into the Merlin engine's turbopumps prior to the full flow of LOX to avoid any thermal shocks to the system. Checkouts of the second stage thrust vector control actuators are also underway. This is known as the engine wiggle test. We move the thrust chambers slightly to make sure that the guidance hardware is a go for flight. The first stage engines also perform the same wiggle test just seconds before ignition.
Yep.
At just
Looking
under
good.
7 minutes till liftoff, the vehicle is healthy. We are currently working no issues. Range and weather are both green for today. All systems continue to be go for a liftoff at 2:56 p.m. Eastern Time. And as I mentioned earlier, this is SpaceX's 20th mission of the year and the 127th mission to date. So far, only one of our missions this year has been launched on a new booster, and for this particular booster, it's going to be flying for the 8th time. Overall, over half the missions we've completed have been flown on flight-proven boosters. Reusability allows SpaceX to refly the most expensive parts of the rocket, which in turn drives down the cost of space
Stage
access.
1 fuel load is complete.
It also allows us to increase our launch cadence and provides more flight opportunities for our customers, like those on board today's mission. Last year, we launched more than any other launch provider in the world. On our first transporter mission earlier this year, we launched a record-breaking 143 spacecraft, which is super cool. And while there are fewer customer spacecraft on board today's mission compared to Transporter-1, we are actually launching more mass to orbit on this mission than the previous one. Several of the customers on board today's Transporter-2 mission have multi-launch agreements with SpaceX, so some of the names that you'll hear a bit later in the webcast might sound familiar to those of you who have tuned in for previous rideshare missions. We're targeting 3 dedicated rideshare flights to sun-synchronous orbits per year, and we also offer opportunities to ride to orbit on our Starlink missions, which launch every couple of weeks. Small satellites can ride to space on SpaceX's Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, as well as Starship in the not-too-distant future.
Cool.
If you're interested in learning more about the rideshare program or want to reserve your own spot, head on over to our website at spacex.com/rideshare. We are just under 5 minutes till liftoff. Falcon 9 is now moving into the final stages of the countdown. Any moment now, the strong back will begin to open up its clamp. Once open, they will retract away from the rocket to its pre-launch position about 2 degrees away from Falcon 9. And as Falcon 9 lifts off, hydraulic arms will pull the strong back farther away to make sure that it is clear during liftoff.
Man, SpaceX
Strong back retract has started.
actually has that.
And so there was the call out for strong back retract. You can see the clamp arms just under the fairing start to open up. The strong back is part of the transport erector, also called the TE. Again, its job is to roll Falcon 9 out to the launch pad, raise it to a vertical launch position, route power, fluids, and communication to both the rocket and satellite.
Nope, not the frost, but the
Hear
aerodynamic
hissing
effects.
and popping, and that is pressure venting from the rocket and the plumbing in the transporter erector.
Basically, those fairings are not new, so those are the those marks, the burning marks which you get when you re-enter the atmosphere. So those are those. Yeah.
reclined to its pre-launch position 2 degrees away from Falcon 9. The vehicle remains in good health. The first and second stages are almost done fueling. Gaseous oxygen is also vented from the base of Falcon 9. That is the chillin of the Merlin engine turbopumps. About a minute before liftoff, you will hear the announcement that Falcon 9 is in startup, which means that the rocket's own internal computers are now autonomously controlling the launch countdown.
So to answer your question, some guide too. Basically, the clouds are.
The range is standing by to support today's mission. As a reminder, if we don't launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at the same time.
Okay, so those clouds basically has the problem with the lighting basically. So lightning is the case, and that's why also there are some aerodynamic effects also. So we are going to the space, but we have to go through them first, so we need to consider them also. So yeah.
Middle of the Transporter-2 mission. This is SpaceX's second dedicated SmallSat Rideshare mission.
And those frost things means you must agree on this thing with me that the venting for the Falcon 9 is the most from all the other launchers which we have seen, and the reason is simple: the super chilled and super duper pressurized liquid oxygen which they use, and literally they have optimized everything. And wow, man,
Stage 2 LOX load complete.
reusability is there.
Call out for second stage LOX loading complete. That is
I just
the
can't
last
tell
of
anything.
propellant load. Falcon 9 is now fully fueled and ready to lift off in about a minute and 40 seconds. This is the 8th time that this booster will be flying today.
I'm so excited for
And a
this
bit
right
later
now.
on,
Ground gas
mission.
closeouts have started.
We'll also be attempting to recover it for the 8th time, back at landing zone 1.
Yes, that is the thing which we have to hear.
So you can start to see some white clouds forming around Falcon 9. That is normal and expected at this stage in the countdown. That is cold, dense liquid oxygen meeting the warmer ambient air of Florida and starting to condense and form those white clouds that you see on screen.
T-minus 1 minute. We are having it, guys.
Flight computers in startup.
So we have some excitement here in Hawthorne, but
Continue with the
Falcon
count. Range
9
is no go. We'll hold at 30 seconds if range status does not change.
Falcon 9 is in startup, and this means that the first and second stages are beginning to pressurize for launch.
We are looking good at T-minus 30. She's just said that if there is any hold, we will hold at T-minus 30. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. And we should be good. Right, yeah. We are going in for the launch, guys. T-minus 25 seconds remaining.
We're just about 20 seconds away from liftoff.
Man, I'm so excited. T-minus 19,
LD, this
18,
is RCN. Countdown
17.
range is no go. Repeat, range is no go.
Hold, hold, hold.
And we did hear the call to hold.
Oh,
Give us a second. We're going to check in with the teams and see if we can get some more information for you.
The countdown hold due to a fouled range.
Again, range problem here, guys. Whoa. Okay, so that was pretty exciting. I don't know what is the problem with the range, boats out there or what, but they have hold and let me just tell you that they can't hold in for a very long now. And since they literally counted down to T-minus 11 seconds, now they have to recycle it at T-minus 15 minutes. So the unexpected happened here. And we now have to see, yeah, they have to recycle it at T-minus 15, in which the whole propellant will unload from the vehicle. The vehicle will become propellant ready, and then that propellant loading will happen again. They do this just to ensure that they have enough propellant for the flight, because the liquid oxygen, right? Oxygen does not want to stay at liquid state. That's why, and that too is super pressurized. So that evaporates, and then you don't have a proper amount of liquid oxygen to perform all your burns and everything. So yes, if there is a hold at such a deep in the countdown, they do a 15-minute recycle. Right now the problem was with the range, and we have to wait for some time. Okay guys, we can wait, no worries with that. We still have 54-minute long window. Let's hope the range cooperates. Now let me just see if we have any other update on it.
So we did have a hold. Looks like the range was a no-go. There might have been an airplane in the area. We do have a backup opportunity tomorrow, but for today, that's going to do it for us. Hopefully you'll join us tomorrow for the next launch attempt of Transporter-2.
Man, no. Mm, maybe I don't know what type of hold was that. They literally had 54-minute in the launch window. This was weird. I must say this was actually weird, man. They don't do something like that, and it is a range problem. They can literally recycle it and go in with the mission. Man, okay. See, my whole Twitter feed is right now just going in with hold, no go. But it was actually very weird for them to not go in with the recycle right now. They literally, I mean, if they didn't had the window, that would be another case. But right now, they literally had the launch window. I don't know whether what actually went wrong. Can't they just clear the range in 54 minutes? Wow. Yes, airplane was in the area, but airplane, oh, yes, Shashank. Everyone is like that only right now. What the heck just happened? The heck just happened is we had a no-go for the launch today because of the rain, but they had a 54-minute launch window, and there was a problem with the airplane, as he said. And airplane with the range, I don't know. Was there any fleet going in the air which can't go, or is there someone patrolling in the air? There's for some VVIP coming in, or what? I don't know. Because obviously that's airplane, that's fast. It can't just stay there for a while. It is flying, literally flying. It's not like boat which can be stationary at some point there. So maybe that's a thing here. Some urgent meeting for a person, don't know, literally I'm just guessing out here. But what else do we have? Do we have any other update as in what happened right now? So wavered plane, but sounded like guess like a guess, as the scrub with an arch window would allow for recycle based on a plane and stay. Yes, exactly. Sounded like a guess. As mean, they had literally an hour window, and it was like very weird for them to cancel it. Okay. No, Eric. This is the, if you don't know, guys, this is the recovery boat of the electron booster, and this is the electron booster down here. Okay. Okay. Now what to do? I have to, do it all over again tomorrow, but I can do that. That's not a problem. Maybe a pilot had to navigate around one of those local storms. Oh, do they do that? Richard Bruce music, I don't know much about it. Do they patrol a storm? It's not make sense, but everyone is right now making guesses, okay? Because that was a weird way to end the stream. because they said that T minus 30 seconds. First of all, we didn't even hear a go from the LD. We mostly hear a go for the LD, which we didn't hear for this mission. And at T minus 30, she said that they can hold, but they didn't hold. And then at T minus 11, finally they said that the vehicle is a no go. High priority measure has violated. Yes, Rian. Oh, I would say that there is some kind of urgent patrolling going on in the area. I would say that. Piper right over the cape. Okay, let me just open in the flight radar. Yes, that's a good idea. Okay. Uh, let's see what is going on there. Which type of plane is there over the cape right now? Whoa. Okay. So you did see that there was, oh man. Okay. There are like tons of plane in this area. Am I missing something or what? There are like so many planes around here, right? I must be missing something. We do have some. Yes, we. What should I say? Am I missing something here or what? Does this look like this only? Go up a little. Okay. Can't I just search Cape? Okay. Where is it? Cape. There are so many planes right there. And maybe it is because right now they have cancelled the launch no opportunity right now, so they are just freed the area, and that's why we have so many planes. Don't know. There are so many planes right now here. Is this like flying planes or what? Static planes? I don't know. There are so many planes, man. Halfway up the Florida. Okay. Canaveral. Okay. Yes. So, here. Okay. Okay. This is clear right now. This area is clear. Yes, but we don't know actually about this thing here. What about these planes here? And okay, man, there are so many planes out there in the world. You just forget about those things. Air traffic management, salute to you. Salute to you, all people. Wow. Okay, so yeah, that was it. We had a scrub, but right now there is one more mission coming up, the Soyuz Progress M17 mission. Range being no go, teams are setting up for tomorrow's backup opportunity. Okay, cool then. Yeah, I was saying that we will be having one more launch today, the Progress 17 mission, which will take the cargo to the International Space Station. So that's one important launch coming up. But the thing is that I have exam and I have to sleep at that time so that I can be ready. So I think, yes, I think I will not be able to stream that launch. But tomorrow, as they, oh, so tomorrow is very interesting, I must say that. We have this launch today, okay? Then tomorrow we have the Virgin Orbits launch also. Let me just make you see that. That will be truly epic to watch. See, man, they literally do this. They literally drop a rocket from an airplane, and that rocket goes to the space. So they are going in for the Demo 2 mission, which will be launching tomorrow, and I have seen their highlights, and they literally do an amazing job at the live stream. Let's hope they do that for the second mission also, and I'll be streaming that most probably with everything which you need to know about this mission. It's a very interesting mission, a lot to know about it also. So do join me on that, and we will be seeing this mission out there. Okay, yeah. Tubular bell, see, exactly. Thank you so much all guys for coming in, and today was not a good day for the rocket launch for SpaceX, but it should be good for Soyuz launch coming in just like less than 5 hours from now, and you can see that if you want. It's an important launch. So with that, I think we can end this stream. If you have anything else you want me to talk about, you can say that. Otherwise, we can go, and I must study right now. Okay, I think we are good here. And yes, guys, if you want to support me, you can do that by becoming a channel member. The link is there, and obviously you can become a Patreon or the channel member. Link is for the Patreon in the description, and click on the join button if you want to become a member. It helps this channel, this Rocket Gyan, me, to give you this best content every time as possible. So do consider becoming a member, and it starts from low as $1 a month, so you can consider becoming it. Sorry, $2, right? Yeah, $2. Launch is called off for today as an aircraft entered the keep out zone, which is unreasonably gigantic. There is simply no way that humanity can become a space without major regulatory Elon being okay. Okay, thank God I stayed for a bit right here. We got an update, and that is a good update out here. Elon, being Elon, as we all know, he tends to become a bit, on the that angry side. You can say that every time something like this happens. So they said that the keep out zone is unreasonably gigantic, and they need to do something, obviously. And we have already seen the FAA clash with which actually happened with the SN11 flight, if I'm not wrong. Was it SN11 or SN10? I don't remember exactly. But SN10, it was SN10, I think. Some FAA restrictions, and right now also he says that the keep out zone was very large. We don't know about that, but let me just say that Elon sometimes tends to be a bit more angry. Most of the time he's correct, although, but yeah, that is what we have. Okay, I think we can go now. We had the update. Yes, there was one plane in the area, and they had to, but still, man, they could have recycled it. Why no go I don't know. Maybe I remember any launch which actually happened till T-minus 11 second and was a no-go for the launch, and then they recycled? I don't remember. Maybe that's the case, that when they go this deep into the countdown, then the rocket is not, very capable of being recyclable in that particular launch window of 1 hour. Don't know. So yes. Symbol prop crop duster. Okay. Okay, man. I think we had good updates, and yes, the issue was the wayward plane. So now we can end the stream, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll be coming up with the launch tomorrow. First of all, with the Virgin Orbit, and then with the SpaceX Transporter-2 mission. Do join me on that. And till then, sayonara. And yep. Until then, this is Priyanshu Roila. You just saw Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.